KB said he started with, and this is his reason why he didn't actually handball. In 1966 or something when he started, there were 16 handballs a game. He didn't want to change that. And I remember one game when he was actually coaching us, we're doing a handball drill, I got a bit sloppy, and he said, stop, this is how I wanted a handball. We're sitting on our back, pissing ourselves laughing. So Kevin said he's got the rocket, he had the sprocket, he had no idea. He teaching us how to handball, but I couldn't believe it.
I should have pretty good knock with Harley comment on that. You know, it's funny because I was playing the game and KB was a legend, as we all know, and to actually play his 400th game was a real memorable time for me. But I remember one of my early games, I'm running into an open goal. I'm in the 10-metre square. I'm just about to pick it up, and some bloke socking it out of my hand. I'm appealing for a free kick, it was KB. That's about your over.
Oh, look, I would have kicked 150 or more, I reckon. But if I fumbled, if I went for a second grab on a mark, the little bastard, he'd come past, nick it out of my hand, and run around with his hands in the air. He never, you just never, when he got the ball, you never let him. You just sort of go, well, this is going to go over my head.
What sort of bloke was he?
Look, he was terrific. He was tough, mighty, he was tough. Don't worry about, I mean, he'd never got in fights and stuff, but geez, they belted him, he'd get straight back up, and he was a very tough player. Never trained hard, but I think he did a lot of training away from the club, which we never knew about, but like Christ, he was tough. But he'd lose all the races. We'd run around the Botanical Gardens, which is 3.8 kilometres, KB would be last. All the training drills, 400s, KB would be last. But when the footy came out, you just couldn't get it off him. He was brilliant, but he was just an amazing player. He was a very good player, and he could have gone on. He played the last, I reckon, 3 or 4 games with a torn thigh, and he probably didn't play as well, but I think he probably could have gone on and played more. Same with Michael Tuck, probably, to a certain degree, but he was a very tough player and a good player. Cracked the shits with Richmond, but you know, he's back loving us again.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, we've all done it.
I tell you what, that's the greatest disaster the Richmond Football Club's had in the last 30 years.
I think it was a bit selfish. I mean, we all, I mean, I had to retire. I was, I couldn't get kicked on anything. But, like I mean, I wasn't told to retire, and I wasn't sacked, but everybody gets disappointed with the footy club, but yeah, put it behind you. You know, he had 4 years as coach, and I think we finished last twice. We didn't have any money to buy any players, but
he did it tough.
Yeah, look, we did it tough, but get over it. I mean, we all get disappointed. I mean, but get over it and love your club. And I'm glad he's back, but I think he was a bit selfish, and he probably should have gone over it earlier.
What was Francis Burglock's coach?
Oh, absolutely. He wrote a book about it.
What's the real crash?
I'll answer it first and then Craig can answer it. You know, everyone in this room has seen Francis Burke. You've only got total admiration. I mean, you remember Arden Street with that eye. I've never seen someone have an eye injury like Francis Burke, and he wouldn't come off and he kicked the goal. But unfortunately, with coaching, and you know, I've been lucky enough to be involved in coaching. One of the most important things about a coach is your communication with your player, and you've got to understand the player and you've got to be able to communicate. Unfortunately, Francis couldn't communicate with players, and therefore the experienced players like Brian Wood and Jeff Raines and David Cloak, they really fell out and they moved on, which sort of really put a huge hole in Richmond, and they probably haven't recovered since, you know. So, you know, it's very hard to come from a player and coach straight away. And it'll be interesting to see how James Hird goes. I mean, Timmy Watson, one of the best players ever, couldn't coach, you know, because players think it's easy to coach, but it is so hard. And, you know, that's where you've got to admire someone like a Malthouse, who was probably just a player, got the best out of himself. But he knew, and Kevin Sheedy, they knew how to handle people. And unfortunately, you know, that was probably not Francis's strongest point.
I think you summed it up pretty well, mate.
Quickly to end up then, can each of you quickly tell me who is your favourite Richmond player and why?
I have two, Rob Wiley and Michael Roach.
I bigger than you.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, Roach Hart was a great Richmond player, but when I came to the club, he was nearly finished. I mean, I played with two the two best players I played with was Jeff Rains and this bloke sitting beside me. I'm sorry, Rob, but Lee was, you know, for his size and everything, was a brilliant player. Probably gave me half my goals anyway. But, one of my favourites over the last 20 years has been Richo, who, you know, probably everybody criticised Richo early on, but in the end was Richmond's favourite.
We love Richo.
We all love Richo, and you know, but certainly the two best players I played with was Rainsy and Fleet. So, I mean, there's other great players, but towards the end, Francis and Royce and those guys and KB were all sort of getting along in the tooth. So certainly Rainsy and Little Fleet was, well, Rainsy gave a lot of goals and so did Fleet. So two favourites. Richo's been my all-time favourite, going and watch it as a supporter.
That's a really tough question because, you know, over 5 years that I played with the Tigers, we used to have such a great group, you know, and to actually individualise. You know, I as a player, it's really tough to pick. As a coach, you sort of have a little bit of a better understanding. And, you know, when I coached at West Coast from 92 through to 206 as an assistant coach, you know, I thought Ben Cousins was outstanding. You know, now, Ben, to Richmond's credit, gave him another chance, and I think that was fantastic. But he deserved another chance. You know, unfortunately, he's got an addiction that's not a fantastic sort of habit, but he hasn't done anything wrong. He's probably caused himself and his family a lot of grief, but he was a brilliant footballer. He was so professional. Everything he did was outstanding, and just listening to some of the Richmond players talk about Ben Cousins, they've learned a lot. Of course, you can learn a lot from a bloke that really knows how to go about his game. And the other one was Judd. You know, the Judd's preparation, he was just outstanding. So I think, you know, Disco said, you know, there were a lot of great players. You know, Disco was, as a young bloke, was a full forward. Flea is an up-and-coming rover. You know, he was my second rover in the grand final. But so it's a really hard question from my point of view.
That's why the question's favourite, not best. Your favourite.
Favourites. Well, you know,
was Billy Barrett.
no, one of my favourite players was Monkhouse because Nick really looked after me as a young West Australian coming over. Him and his wife Nanny certainly took me under their wing, and you know, Nick's a different sort of a person, but he's achieved a lot in many respects. But yeah, no, a lot of favourite people at Richmond. It was just great times for me personally as a West Australian. I know my wife loved it. She didn't want to go home, but, you know, I was a West Australian and I wanted to go home. And now I'm back living in Melbourne, so there you go.
And so we've had none?
Lee hasn't made his favourite player.
Oh, sorry.
Favourite?
Your favourite, not the best, but
No,
your favourite.
I suppose the favourite, I went to the bloke for 2 goals last, where it's so much brains power goes to him. He runs the police force up in Mildura.
He does.
He's been a copper for 8 years and still hasn't arrested anyone. He can't fill out the paper. He can't fill out the paperwork. We're generating some good times together, mate. So when we were in Melbourne High, he did 2 years in Melbourne High at the time, but he enjoyed it a lot. We won the footy and the cricket at Melbourne High. Well, and there's Robbie Six. The people actually that, funny, I played for 16 years, and the people that you know more are the people that you were instant success with, and that was early on. You know, it is. You know, we catch up, all the guys that played in the 1980 premiership, so we catch up every couple of weeks before Christmas. Now we just rotate around people's houses, but we, not only the players, but it's the support staff, the trainers, the doctors, anyone that was in those tournaments, they're all invited, come along, we bring our own grog, we put on a bit of meal, and that's how we catch up. And, cause, you know, I don't see, we don't have any, the 1982 grand final side there because we lost the bloody thing. So we were lucky to win one, and as I said, I was pleased. So it's all about, and you do get success, that was great. We thought it was going to happen every year, but it didn't. After 82, I played another 11 years and didn't play another final series. It was all the bloody same training. It's hard to get that, but that's how it happened. So, got to say, we're wrapped to be here. When I asked the guys when the committee here at the Hobart Footy Club, we want to run a 1980, you know, can you organise someone to come along? I said, oh, well, just come. I've been enough. I'd love to. And I tried to get the coach in again, but he's actually, he's crayfish fishing up the thing. He's obviously poaching somewhere. And I asked Robbie Wiley, because I heard that he was coming into town. He'd been in Western Australia all that time, and when I got in contact with him, he said, look, Robbie, I've got this bunch. We started a Hobart group, we started in the middle of the year, and they're really well run, they've got a really good group. Would you like coming over? He said, look, I asked him, when are you over? I moved into Melbourne, was a week ago or 2 weeks? 3 weeks ago.
Spring carnival time.
Spring carnival time. Good time.
Had a better ride.
No, you've got a lot of shit to watch. Not a good one, anyway. And he said, love the car. So, and that's what we're country people, Tasmanians, West Australian, Endurable. That's what it's all about. We love